32, almost 33 years. It's a great company. We've built it from 10 people not all that long ago to 32 people today. We continue to grow. We're hiring people all the time. If there's one thing that I could do, like before my time is up at Chapman, it is making sure that we've built a company that will stand the test of time. And my goal as the current owner of the company, or one of the owners of the company, is to ensure that we can pass the ownership of the organization on to the next generation of people coming up the ranks today. One area of our business where we impact the local communities pretty heavily is the school systems. So we work for school systems all over the northern part of the state of New Jersey. We operate their water systems, their wastewater systems. We do a lot of their permitting and compliance work, and we ensure that the water that the kids drink is clean. We go out and do the sampling to ensure that it's not contaminated. And we also treat the wastewater that's being generated at a lot of these facilities as well before it gets discharged to the environment. So we are supporting the local community through supporting the boards of education and the local school systems.
All About Bugs Tennessee Pest and Termite Control is all about family too. Our family-owned business has successfully been in operation in Sevierville and surrounding areas for almost a decade. Especially during these times, a pest-free home is necessary for a sustainable, disease-free home or business. Our services include residential, rental, commercial, hotel, motel, cabins, you name it. Free quotes and inspections for new customers, and most of our services are contract-free. Our All About Bugs Tennessee family is devoted to delivering the best possible pest control service with a friendly smile. Contact us at 865-453-5574 today.
If it's bugging you, you should be bugging us.
Michigan has long been known as a horsepower racetrack. This playground of speed, where engines, aggression, and patience will be tested. Live from the Michigan International Speedway is the Chapman Environmental Services Cup Series, presented by Racing Revolution. I'm your host and producer tonight, alongside me, Alex Gagnon, here on V-Speed.
It's a thrill to be back here at Michigan, bringing out the big speed here tonight. Be exceeding over 200 miles an hour as they roar into these corners, and I think it's going to be a load of fun. No real track left in active NASCAR competition quite like it.
And we are here tonight for the Vet2Track.org 200 here in Michigan. Should be a thrilling race, as Alex just mentioned. Last week, 3 races remain after last week. Rob Rader and Element X Racing grabbed another checker flag last time the series was on track. If that sounds like what I said last week, you would be absolutely correct. They have been on fire. It's been that kind of year for Element X Racing. Still a number of drivers who have not locked into the playoffs. Let's have a look at the points right now. There you see it on the screen. Everybody on the left side, we'll come back to that in just a second, is locked into the playoffs. The right side still topsy-turvy. One driver to keep an eye on, though, is the number 8 spot there. Dustin Reinstedel today withdrew his playoff eligibility. That means the cut line is going to move from below Daniel Holloway to below James Loveland. And there's only one driver who can make it on points mathematically. That would be Jackson McGeorge. and everyone else needs a win to get themselves in.
Yeah, it's going to really shake up the playoff picture here. Ryan Settle announcing just a couple hours ago that due to scheduling conflicts will not be able to run full-time come playoff time. So he is vacating that spot for another driver to try and jump in there and battle for this Racing Revolution Cup Series championship. And huge opportunity for drivers like Loveland, McGeorge, and Fike and Bennett. All these guys who are on the outside looking in right now. All of a sudden, another opportunity, another spot opens itself up and will make it make it that much easier to get in with the extra spot, but that much harder still because that just ratchets up the intensity for all those drivers still out, knowing that there is a realistic way in.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to be an interesting playoff battle here for the next couple races as we are getting very close to the last race of the regular season at Darlington. But speaking of Michigan, let's have a look at this particular facility, 2 miles long. And Alex, what's it take to win here?
Yeah, absolutely. So Michigan, one of the fastest tracks in stock car racing today. While it is half a mile shorter than Daytona and about 2/3 of a mile shorter than Talladega, the fact that there is no restrictor plate here at Michigan means cars will be exceeding over 200 miles an hour diving into the corners here. It's a really cool track. 18 degrees of banking in the corners, 10 degrees down that front straightaway. And a couple of different lanes you can run here at Michigan. This track will change as the day goes on, especially with that amount of speed. But you still need to brake getting into these corners. So high-speed braking going to be a must for these folks tonight. And just a fun fact to throw out there that I came across earlier. Michigan uses trams to shuttle fans from the parking lot to the track, and all of those trams originally were built for the 1996 Atlanta Summer Olympics before MIS bought them after the Olympics.
Interesting. Would not have known that. Race analysis up on the screen. 100 laps, 5 tire sets, stage at lap 22. We're going to get onto the grid here right away. Have a look at the pole award winner today. And that driver, none other than Jackson McGeorge, your Coastal Financial Pole Award winner. Our mission at Coastal Financial is to provide comprehensive financial planning solutions tailored to each individual's unique needs and goals, with the aim of empowering our clients to make informed financial decisions and achieve their financial potential. You can find us at coastalfinancial.com or on Facebook at Coastal Financial. That's a look at your pole winner today. Great start for the 98. And the rest of the grid on the way here. Second spot, going to be Alex Forget in the 19. Third position will be Trevor Keith in the 15. Jeremy Burns going to round out row number 2. Fifth spot, teammate Caleb Gilbert beside Kyle Diaz in the 26. Seventh spot, Travis Gilbert. See if he can get those internet woes behind him. Have a good finish here tonight. Justice Murphy going to start in 8th. Ninth position, Tay McDonald looking to get that momentum back. He's lost it a little bit here these last few weeks. We'll see what he can do here. Trevor Erhardt going to start in 10th.
Back there in row 6, it's Christian Bresnock in the 00, and last week's winner, Rob Rader, there in the 53, starting in 12th. Chris Nail rolls off tonight 13th. Carter Linz to his outside in the 66 machine, rolling off 14th. Row 8, it's James Loveland, and with today's news, he now finds himself in the 16th and final playoff spot, just behind that man, Daniel Holloway, in the 21. Tyler Harrison rolls off 17 tonight in the 45. Brandon Richardson in the 8, rolling off 18. Nick Alves in the 24, and Al Likens in the 40, making up row 10.
Starting 21st, Parker Johnston with the T. Yes, the 48 is back on track. Wayne Logan to be to his outside. That is row 11. 23rd, Kevin Orlando Jr. in the 27. Picklesheimer going to be to his outside, starting 24th. 25th, Grant Turner in the 39. Michael Bennett alongside in 26th. 27th, Devin Hudgens in the 84. Christopher Schaefer going to start 28th. 29th will be Joe Goya in the 17 machine. Sam Taylor returns. He starts 30th.
31st there, it's Christopher Berger in the 36. Michael Call to his outside in 32nd.
And that is your field here today. There we are trackside. Foggy day here in Michigan on the Ohio server. The drivers rolling through turn 4. Green flag in hand. And we are green at Michigan. That was fast. And if you can't,
That it was.
I think you can feel the sense of speed through your computer monitor, your TV screen right now. These drivers are flying. Forget's going to lead lap number 1. Burns to second. McGeorge falls back just a little bit. I think one thing we have to talk about here is the weather. I mean, very important today. 66 degrees in the air temp, 82 on the track. A lot of grip here. Also the humidity, very high. That is going to change the way these drivers race. It's going to make pack racing, like what we're seeing on screen right now, much more important. The leader will not be able to get away.
Now we're seeing that right now with Forget as he leads his second lap of this race. Took the lead on that opening lap, but no separation between him, McGeorge, or Jeremy Burns. Kyle Diaz in that 26 machine also had a run at it not too long ago. And you see now it's the 98 really making it look like a plate race here, trying to manage the lines from P2.
And you'll have to do that. You got to be careful in the corners, obviously, as you need to lift a little bit. And definitely early in the race, got to lift to save the tires and just not hit the wall. Yeah, it's definitely going to be weird just trying to maintain the lines, get the draft on the straightaway, but fan out in the corners so you get a little bit of air on the nose.
Yeah, and you see they're already 3 wide here in the middle of the pack. Trevor Keith, Justice Murphy, Trevor Erhardt, all of them door to door. Going through 1 and 2. Bresnock trying to make some work happen on the outside. 00 off to a strong start here. Started outside the top 10, finds himself currently running P7. And looking for more as he's trying to split the defense there between Erhardt and Murphy. Boy, a lot of cars already trying to fight their way to the front early.
A big elevator move for the 22 as well, top to bottom, he did. Side by side for second. That's McGeorge and Diaz. As they're chasing Forget, who's led every lap so far, all 5 of them. Oh, they're dooring each other. Oh, they're wrecking.
And
Oh, they're
destroyed.
destroyed.
Elected somebody.
Oh, goodness. We're going to go back and figure out that one. I think that was the 53. They got hit. Yes, it was.
53, the 00, and the 22. But the worst of it, definitely the Rob Rader and Christian Bresnock.
Although that car does not look that bad.
Launched into him.
Let's go figure out how that all took place. Kind of saw it live. Let's go back on the replay here. Already spun at that point in time, but a little hazy. Don't adjust your television monitors, folks. It's just that foggy here.
Yeah,
Hopefully,
it is a hazy one out in Michigan today.
Hopefully it'll clear up here further if we get into this race. Pretty early, obviously, but a little bit of help there from the 12. Yeah, we're 3 wide off the corner. Little hesitation on the clear. And then, 22 just moved out. And then you got, then Raider just nowhere to go.
Yeah.
I think the good news for Raider is that he kind of caught him right square in that right rear tire. So I don't think that car is too hurt. But not exactly what you want here on lap 5.
Yeah, the good thing for both Raider and Bresnock really is that neither of them got the inside wall. The 00 got a little bit of the outside wall, but nothing too significant.
That's right.
But yeah, just a tough break there for the 00. 22 didn't I'm gonna guess that with the where he was positioned, not be surprised if the iRacing spotter didn't register him as a car to the outside because he was barely alongside there, but
That's right.
it was just enough to have a bit of contact there when the 22 tried moving up the track. And we're seeing quite a few cars already coming down pit road here on lap 7, maybe trying to mix up the strategy a little bit.
Let me tell you why, Alex. We can go about 23, 24 laps on fuel. If for those of you who are decent at math, that means it's going to be a 3-stop race here with 100 laps. And you'd be a little bit short. Pitting here actually makes you can make it to the end cleanly with those stops. So this is a very important time to stop, especially if you're in the back part of the field. Everyone taking fuel only, with the exception of Rob Rader and Christian Bresnock, who's getting damage repaired. But 26th, 27th, 28th, 29th, 30th, 31st, 32nd on the pit lane. Last driver on old tires will be Christopher Berger. Daniel Holloway is the first driver to hit pit road.
Wonder if this is going to be an opportunity here for McGeorge to try and find his way back to the front. Obviously put this thing on pole to start, but lost that lead pretty quick to Forget. Maybe this time, starting from the opposite lane, the one that Forget made the pass in, could this be the setup that the 98 needs to reclaim the lead here?
It's difficult to get a good restart in turn 1 if you're not on the bottom. And the reason I say that is because you're not the speed yet, so you're pretty much wide open, maybe a little bit of a lift. But if you're the guy on the top, you're kind of at mercy of whoever's on the bottom, right? If they want to run the middle, you have to go to the way high side. If they want to run right down against the white line, you can run the middle. But if you're on the bottom, you can make that choice. You know, you can pinch that guy up a little bit and say, I want the middle, you're going to lose the spot. And it makes it a little more difficult. Obviously, we saw right there, the 19 took the top side, 98 on the bottom side. That's probably the safer way to do it. But later in this race, I would want to be on the bottom and be the aggressor and try and make something happen here. There's one other thing to note here in turn number 1. We're not quite going to see it from this shot, but the banking on the very bottom of the racetrack, that bottom lane, significantly less than the rest of this racetrack. That's the only spot on this racetrack less banked. For some reason, the bottom of turn 1 and 2, 3 and 4 is the same all the way up, but you'll see drivers kind of hug the first seam with the left side tires. Any lower than that, and you are on that less banked stuff, so it makes it more difficult for the car to grip up.
The quirks of tracks that have been around for 50-plus years.
That's right.
Sometimes they just have little bits and gimmicks to them where you're like, don't know how we ended up here, but it's just part of the territory when racing here in Michigan, knowing that inside of 1 and 2, always going to have that little bit of variability if you want to have to push up the track to actually get to the banking that the rest of the corner has.
A lot like the tide patch into turn 3 at Daytona. We all know how that got there.
Oh, yeah.
But we're back green here in Michigan. Oh, not a great start farther back in the field. Got Holloway kicked out of line. Big 3-wide move for the 22.
Yeah, about to say, it looked like everything just started off really stacked. It looks like Forget waited to the last possible moment to get going. It really bottled up the field a little bit here. To the advantage, maybe, of the 22.
Oh, big loose off the corner there.
Yeah.
Gilbert.
Just as I was saying, he was getting a great run against the 98. Gets a little loose off the corner. Has nowhere to go. And it looks like, is that Tay McDonald who's having some connectivity issues?
Did not notice. We got a new leader, though. Diaz,
Yeah.
power
Wow,
move.
Diaz.
At the line, he will lead that lap. Went up and got it. Another food product on that car here. We got Fruity Pebbles. Colorful is the 26.
Yeah. And with how hazy it is out there, the fans probably appreciate a car that bright being in the lead. You can see exactly where this lead pack is.
Yeah, I feel the same way. Oh, we got a top-to-bottom move again. Elevator for the 22. He really wants to get up there and lead some of these laps. Already gained 3 spots. Like I said, Erhardt has gained 7 already.
Oh, McGeorge didn't like having the 22 slide right in front of him. Gave him a bit of a shot there off of 4.
I mean, here,
It's
if you
going to do
lift,
nothing but push the 22.
if you lift, you're losing 5 spots. Just
Yeah.
give it up. So you can't lift, no matter what happens in front of you. You just drive through it. That's how Michigan is, unfortunately. And a lot of drivers are going to be frustrated about that throughout the day. I mentioned patience at the top of the show. That's exactly what I was talking about.
Action all over the field right now, jumping further a little deeper into the field. You see Nick Alves in the middle of 3 wide there, sliding up behind Richardson. They're all following Caleb Gilbert around the high side here as we make our way onto lap 12.
And I think as this race progresses, you're going to want to move higher and higher on the racetrack. You're going to have to make the runs up top, because then you can get to somebody's right rear quarter panel and you can beat them to the exit of the corner. If you're on the bottom, you have no momentum down the straightaway when you're drag racing. You can see Trevor Keith right here. Right, well, watch this battle here. He lost a decent amount of ground. He's going to gain a lot of it back right here. So he was able to get to the door of the 24, but now he's going to lose a bunch of spots here just because he has no momentum, no one helping.
Yeah. See the 48 get on by. Here comes Tyler Harrison around the outside, as is Kevin Orlando Jr. looking to do the same. Finally, the 15 has someone behind him there in James Loveland. But
yeah, this will be a good, good look at it right there. Just look how much he loses down the straightaway. That's a car length, 2 car lengths, 3 car lengths to the 45.
And that was just in one straightaway. So if you get hung out there to drive for a couple of laps, I mean, you're just losing piles of time to the cars around you. As you see, Travis Gilbert here going to make a run at second. He's on the outside of Forget. The 22 going to take that away. So Kyle Diaz leads, but maybe not for long. It's the 22 diving down to the apron.
Yeah, big drive to the bottom. I don't think he's going to clear. He will not clear. And that is going to be bad news. He might lose back to third. Drag race here. Erhardt cannot fill that spot. This is where you hope you can just throttle up better than that guy on the outside, and he will throttle up better. Give the spot to the 22.
Yeah, the 22's been real aggressive trying to make moves down
Oh,
low.
we got a wreck. Holloway's around.
Holloway spinning in the back of the field. Looks like he's the only car around, and Bresnock will get on by.
Goodness gracious. I thought he was going to get collected. I saw him sideways, and everyone avoided him. Great job, drivers. Let's figure out why the 21 went spinning. And this is playoff implications right here. He's right near that cut line.
Yeah. He was only about 8 points to the good, or about 20 points to the good. And you see, he starts 3 wide there with Schaefer, Keith, and Michael Call.
Yeah, so here we are. We are about a half a lap ahead of this.
Yeah, because it comes off of 4.
Yeah, we're
Look
into
at how
turn 3
bottled
here,
up.
but yeah, like you mentioned, where there's a lot of cars not occupying a lot of space. And yeah, 3 wide here, almost 4 wide it looks like. Yeah, that's what it was. I don't think Schaefer realized there was 2 cars to his inside. Oh, Bennett with big damage. So I think that's the second week in a row that car's been in some pretty heavy damage early in a race. I don't think Holloway's actually got that much out of it. Obviously, the front end's pretty knocked in, but I think that could have been a lot worse.
That seems to be the theme of the cautions early here tonight of not good, but could have been a lot worse.
That's right.
But to your point about playoff implications, not only does that affect Holloway, it also affects the 14 of Bennett, who, you know, was a decent bit back from that cut line, but the news of Reinstedel pulling out of the playoffs got him another like 15 points or so closer to potentially sneaking his way in. But that kind of damage is going to be incredibly detrimental to pointing his way in here, and he might have to hope for a win at Daytona or Darlington.
Yeah, there's a look at the 14. He's got to keep it on the racetrack. I mean, hit pit road, get the damage fixed, obviously, but can't be retiring at this stage of the season. Just, you know, unfortunate break for the driver of the 14, but I'm sure we'll be able to get it righted and be just fine for the rest of this race. A lot of cars already with a little bit of damage, but I don't think it will be all bad for the 14.
Another big round of pit stops here for basically a lot of the field who had not already come down pit road, but
Yeah, I am seeing 8 cars or so on the pit lane. Everyone from 23rd or 24th on back has hit pit road already. Rob Rader for his second stop of the day, as well as Picklesheimer, Likens, and Sam Taylor making their second stop. First stop for Wayne Lowe, Devin Hudgens, Daniel Holloway, and Christian Bresnock.
Yeah, and for some of those guys, it's just getting damage repaired. A couple other of them, stopping for fuel, getting ready to go for the next part of this race.
Because we will get a dash here, about 1-2 laps until the stage. Stage out at 22. We're obviously sitting here at 17. So the green-white checker to the stage. So I understand not wanting to pit here. You might be able to sneak out some stage points if you get a really good run on this restart. Although maybe... No, 22 is not coming down pit road. He kind of faked it, but this is just the choose, which we've all come to love.
It's honestly been a very fun addition to this season. Not too many leagues run the choose, and even less run it with good stewarding in place to enforce it. So it's cool to see it used and be a critical factor, especially late in races. Have a late restart, figuring out where you want to restart can be make or break for trying to, get that win, or if nothing else, avoid the big one.
The thing it really does that I like is it puts it in the driver's hands, right? When you're running an official race in iRacing, and you're running second, caution comes out, and it's a racetrack where, you don't want to be on the top, or you're the leader and it's a racetrack where you don't want to be on the bottom, like Darlington, and now. You're stuck in the unpreferred line and you have to make it work. Whereas in this situation, if you want to run the top, restart on the top. You run on the bottom, restart on the bottom. Even if you lose a spot, gain a spot, you're in the lane you want to be in. Opens a whole new kind of strategy, and it's definitely exciting to watch and much better to race with.
Yeah, we'll see some of that, I'm sure, in just a moment here. Pace car going to peel off at the end of turn 4. Trevor Erhardt, Travis Gilbert, row 1, Forget and Diaz, row 2, McDonald and Murphy, row 3, with Caleb Gilbert, Jackson McGeorge in row 4. An opportunity for a couple of cars who haven't seen the front a ton to lead some laps as the green flag about to drop once again.
Rolling into the restart zone. Quick dash for the stage starts now.
It'll be a quicker dash for the 22. Looks like the 41 got a little hung up on the restart, may have spun the tires a hair, lost some of that track position. Gilbert will assume the lead, but Diaz also with a really good run, going to look to his outside here off of 2.
Don't forget, Diaz was able to grab the lead off the last restart, so maybe he can do it one more time here. Few laps to go until the stage end.
Everyone fans out, picking their own bit of real estate out here. All bets are off when there's only a couple of laps till the end of the stage.
Yeah, those points so important for a lot of these drivers. We saw the points earlier. Hold them up here after this stage is over and kind of see where we're at. Big drive to the bottom for the 41.
Wow. Just drove it in there.
And then he got tight. Oh, they're in the fence. Oh, we're wrecking.
Oh, everyone's spinning
Massive
from the
wreck.
front of the field.
Oh, huge hit.
McDonald around, collecting Schaefer and Rader. Loveland's in it.
McGeorge.
Trevor Keith.
Oh, man. This is a big one. All started with a move for second that didn't quite work. Let's go back and see. Who was that again? That was Erhardt.
Yeah, Trevor Erhardt was trying to make the dive on Kyle Diaz. And
where that all started.
All hell broke out behind him.
Although this is going to be the end of the stage here, so let's just quick pause and look at our stage results. Travis Gilbert going to win the stage. Trevor Erhardt going to be right behind him in second. Kyle Diaz third. Justice Murphy will be fourth. Jeremy Burns going to come home in fifth. Nick Alves in sixth. Caleb Gilbert seventh. Kevin Orlando Jr. in eighth. Tyler Harrison ninth. And Grant Turner will be 10th in the stage. Now let's go back and find out what happened, because that was a mess to end off this stage.
That it was.
So we're going to go back all the way to the restart here and just kind of watch this all again. I think we'll see it pretty well from the back bumper here of the 41.
Yeah, so they'll do another lap here, but you see that the 41 already was having issues getting going. The 19 was all over his back bumper as they made their way into 3 and 4. And then coming into 1 and 2, this time by the 41 with a massive run to the inside, trying to take away second place, and it just didn't quite come to fruition for him. But it was one heck of an attempt, but ultimately not to be.
You can see it right here, and then just watch the 19 and the 29. You'll kind of see it happen right here into the wall, and then
oh boy,
yeah, Forget
room 12.
Not clear.
Everyone goes spinning right in the middle of the racing lane, and so many cars end up deposited into that inside wall.
Yeah, big damage there right after.
Got collected by Thorpe, I think.
I'm not sure who that was. Yeah, you can see them spinning. Just a lot of, yeah, there's the 15 and the 02. Big damage there. Who was that driver? Right there. That's Goya in the 17. Caught McGeorge.
17 up to 77.
Yeah, a lot of cars with a lot of damage in that incident.
Did Carter Linz get through that okay? It looked like his car was right in the thick of all of that, and I don't know if there's any damage on that 66 machine.
Let's find out. Right on board. Oh, he got a little bit of the wall. But other than that, no, he split the gap.
Boy,
and then he did it again.
Jeez. What an onboard there. That is a full code brown for Carter Linz. Sneaking through not one, but 2 cars sideways on the back straightaway.
Yeah, good work there for the 66. Patient. Able to work through that incident. He is now currently in the 15th position. Couple drivers stayed out. Those being Sam Taylor and Al Likens. Another couple took fuel. Hudgens and Bennett. Then everyone there on back, 4 tires, starting with Travis Gilbert in the 5th position. A lot of drivers with damage in that incident.
A lot of really fast cars as well.
That's right. That is absolutely right. This is going to set us up for the run to the finish. 70-odd laps here. Going to take 2 stops at a minimum to get there. Will make life a little interesting for some of these drivers, especially how much do you want to gamble on fuel? Do you want to try and get a fuel save win, or do you want to be safe and collect the points? What do you do? That's really the question.
Yeah, that really is the question that you have to ask yourself in this moment, and especially with a lot of big names getting caught up in incidents early on here. If there's any day where it could be the day to try and go for the win, take that chance, could be today. I mean, you look at cars in the top 10, a lot of them have already run into some issues here. Guys like Rob Rader and Alex Forget, Trevor Keith, like all guys in the top 5, top 10, McDonald and all. I mean, a lot of guys who are having some issues. So this could be your opportunity to try and reach out and steal a win if things work out the right way.
Sam Taylor on the loud pedal. He is going to lead them to the start-finish line. Likens, not a great start on the outside. Clear by 2 into 1. Bennett got that thing fixed. That thing hunts the bottom line. Right to the back bumper of Taylor.
This is getting real messy up at the front of the field.
How does
Sam
3 wide
Taylor
for the lead
about
sound?
to get eaten by Al Likens and Travis Gilbert.
Hudgens on the outside
is in the wall. Oh,
we're about
boy.
to be 4 wide off the corner. I don't like that.
Might make it 5.
Goodness gracious. Bennett is falling like a rock right now. Not a good turn 4 exit.
Oh, it's about to be 5 if Trevor Erhardt finds a way in.
Oh, be careful, guys. Still 4
Oh,
wide.
still 4 wide.
Now down to 3 wide, a little safer, but these guys are still driving hard. Oh, that was close.
Oh.
Taylor just about got the 14. Oh man, this is Michigan at its finest right here.
That it is. While all this has been going on, Travis Gilbert has taken the lead up at the front of the field, but I think it's in his best interest just to keep his eyes looking forward. He might be getting a little terrified of what was going on behind him. That was a mess for the better part of 2-3 laps. Now finally it looks like it's starting to calm down just a hair.
And Lycan settled in
Gilbert
right behind him.
leads. Yeah.
Yeah, good work for the number 40. Hudgens again in the outside wall off of turn number 2. Well, this is a wild racetrack.
That it is. And once again, almost 3 wide there. Diaz throws the block on Erhardt as they make their way down the front straightaway.
Yeah, Alves got into it a little bit there as well. So the 24 on the inside. Let's see how he felt about that. There's that driver's on board.
That is not someone I would define as happy at the moment.
No.
That is someone I would define as locked in and maybe a little upset.
Yeah, Coastal Financial Ford Mustang doing its thing. 7th spot. Gained a lot of spots already, up 12 of them so far in this race, fighting inside of Diaz. Yeah, locked in is exactly how I would describe the driver of the 24 right now.
And it's a good thing that he is, because he is in a fierce battle right now with Kyle Diaz, Trevor Erhardt, and Justice Murphy. These guys battling for 6th through 9th out on track. Alves the only one, though, holding down that inside lane. Everyone else trying to run that high side. As someone got a big piece of the wall behind him. I think that was Grant Turner.
Say Burns also running the bottom. He finds his way in line here behind Hudgens. Bennett able to hang on to that track distance. So was Likens. This is a good looking run for those two guys. Likens the only driver left in the top 10 who did not pit under that last caution. 5 laps older on fuel is the 40.
Right now, Gilbert slowly pulling away from the field here. He's opened the gap out to about half a second. It's the biggest lead we've seen anyone be able to develop all race to this point. So far, looking pretty good there for the driver of the 22. Looks like a couple of cars are trying to get back up to speed there, Mark.
Yeah, issue for Carter Lenz. We're going to go back and find out what happened to him right away here. This is into turn number 1. You can see he's well ahead of this pack. I think he's part of a 3 wide incident here. Yeah, a little bit of help. Oh, he just about got spun all the way around there. That Goya again, it is the 17, and they both save it, moving in the right direction.
Yeah, ran out of room between him and Tyler Harrison. But he keeps the thing in one piece. 66 continues on track here. Much deeper into the field, though, down below P20.
Single filed out a little bit here at the front of the field. Not so much around 14th spot. We're still about 3 wide. Wayne Lowe trying to make stuff happen in that 34. And behind Sam Taylor. Not able to force it 3 wide. We'll get to the bottom of the 42. Oh, he chopped the nose.
On the 53.
Oh, boy. He chopped the nose of Raider pretty good right there.
And I'm sure Rob Raider is having a very calm reaction to it. That is definitely not a move that you want to really experience as a driver, especially if you're a guy like Rob Raider who tends to find himself at the front of the field, but early damage has really set you deeper into it. A whole different experience of racing back here versus up at the front of the field.
It absolutely is. We're going to ride on board here with Tyler Harrison. He's going to show us the way, what it feels like. Running back here for 18th with Rob Raider. A couple crinkled up race cars. Holloway, who spun earlier. It's all about choosing your line back here and then fanning out in the corner, right? Get in line on the straightaway, get the draft, but run a line that your car's happy with. Right now it's the top side. Get that big run down the straightaway. You can see him close in. And then maybe, just maybe, you put it up against the wall here and try and get to the outside of Raider. not quite going to be able to do it. And you see Carter Lynn's down there way on the bottom. See that front tire. Sorry, that's Berger. Trying to get that spot away as well. So that's just the frustration of this place.
Yeah, the moment you get a run, someone else might do the same, completely takes that away. You see, though, he gets around the 21 of Holloway temporarily.
Oh, Raider got
might be
big
going
time
more.
tight.
Yeah, he slid way up the track, nearly took out the 42, has completely bottled up this entire section of cars here. And they lost a ton of time to Wayne Lowe ahead.
Other driver's just trying to make his way through this thing. It's going to be my fellow countryman, Alex Forget. Look at him go. Just wheeling that car right now. See the busy hands.
Don't blame him for being a little busy behind the wheel right now. There's a lot to keep an eye on outside of that front windshield right now. A lot of cars sliding around, and he is trying to run in between the middle of all of them. Now 3 wide directly ahead of him. Berger, Holloway, and I believe that is the
Chris Nail.
I believe the 42. Oh, that is the 88 of Chris Nail. I thought he was the 42 for a second. They're running some similar schemes out here tonight.
Yes, they are. Yeah, there's a look at that 88 right there. The fog is lifted, but not up here in the V-Speed booth. It's still foggy. I don't know what's going on up here. Anyway, Gilbert leads by about a second, 0.8 out the front of Trevor Erhardt in the 41. Good run so far, up 8 spots already. We're riding right now.
Al Likens
Well,
was trying to chase that run all the way to the bottom. Erhardt not content to give it to him. Boy, that was almost a mess. They raced each other all the way down to the apron and then some.
And then Likens all the way back up to the top side. Really impressive run right there by the 40. Oh, big wall contact there for the 84. Saw that one coming.
He's had a couple of those this run. The 84 just continues to get a little too wide coming off of turn 2. And it's going to start costing him sooner rather than later. These cars can take a hit if you clip the wall on the outside coming off the corner. But if you start repeatedly making contact with them, eventually those toe links are going to break down and you're going to have a serious issue.
Yeah, you got to do it just right if you're going to get in the wall. Best way to do it is just to not hit the wall at all. That is ideal, but sometimes you have to, and you want to make just a brushing contact with it. You don't want to ride on it too long. Just tap the wall and get back off of it, because it's when you ride on the wall that it starts ripping the steering out of your hands and breaking toe links. So I don't think anyone's had that happen quite yet. The 84 is still running 7th. There's a look at that machine.
Yeah, it's been a pretty solid run, all things considered so far for the 84 of Devin Hudgens.
Yeah,
Still
up a
hanging
bunch of
in the top
spots.
10 after the pit strategy to take fuel only to get him that track position. It's worked out to good effect, as has it for the 40 of Al Likens, who got his way back around Erhardt and now continues to run P2 here on lap 38.
This 40 has some speed that we haven't seen a lot this year, and I'm really glad to see it. Ferguson Construction on the side of that car, running second, got here on pit strategy, but is able to keep it and hold on to it. So far throughout this run, we've been about 15 laps we've been doing this run for it. He's been under fire from the 41, no doubt about that, but he is still up here in the top 5.
Yeah, he is. I mean, look at this battle, though, for second on back. You got Likens and Erhardt door to door, and then Burns, Caleb Gilbert, Devin Hudgens all directly behind him, trying to make a move as well. We jump on with the 9 machine there, seeing this battle unfold in front of him for second. Erhardt gets on by again. And there he is. Jeremy Burns, our points leader.
I don't know if he is the points leader anymore. In terms of wins, I believe now that Raider has more wins than he does on the season. Don't have an official tally in front of me. Regular season points leader, Jeremy Burns, he is. Playoff points are a bit of a different story at this stage of the game. A few races left in the regular season.
Yeah, right now running a cool and comfortable P4. Watching this battle unfold ahead of him. He's got Caleb Gilbert just behind him as well. And, you know, we've reached that stage in the run where at this point you more or less are where you're going to be as long as you've maintained your tires. But for those who maybe have not done so, We might start seeing them drop through the field a little bit here if they've been putting too much stress on them. The first thing I think, oh, bit of a door maybe between the 41 and the 40.
And they're racing hard here for the second spot. Able to keep it going here. 40's going to lose a few spots out of that incident. Couldn't keep the momentum up. He might slide in behind the 54. Ooh. Yes, no, maybe so.
He made a spot for himself, that's for sure.
Sure did.
He was not going to be denied getting to that outside wall. The 84 of Devin Hudgens flared way out to the inside to avoid making any contact with him.
Well, 41 laps in this race. I think it's time for a quick through your field. Start off with your leader. He's led most of the laps so far. Travis Gilbert out front in the 22. Trevor Erhardt running in second. Right behind him, a very close following, Jeremy Burns. Jeremy Burns' teammate pushing him through here. That is Caleb Gilbert, who won this race last year. He told me that at Pocono too, and I still don't believe him. I'm kidding, Caleb. I'm kidding. In fifth is Al Likens, and move up a spot here as Erhardt got a little bit tight off the corner into the outside wall. Erhardt now bet down to fifth spot. Kyle Diaz is in the sixth position. Hudgens running in VR again. I would imagine he is in seventh. Michael Call. There's a look at that 89 machine. Red Bull on the side of it. He is in eighth. Justice Murphy, all about bugs, in the 12 is ninth. Trevor Keith. There is the driver. He is in the 10th position. Wheeling that thing off of turn two. Grabbing
great
gears.
Recovery there for Trevor Keith after he was sideways in the big one about 20 laps ago.
That's right. That is right. Top 10 running for the 15. In 11th, we saw Nick Alves earlier, but let's see him again. There he is.
Also looks like Likens is coming down pit road here, not to try and derail.
You're absolutely right, though. Good call on that. Sam Taylor coming off pit road as well, but there is a still very focused Nick Alves in 10th. Right behind him, driver of the 14 machine. Where is he? There he is. Let's get him on the screen. There is Michael Bennett. Recovering from that early incident. Able to keep it moving here. And we're about to start the sequence here, so we are going to stop with our through the field. As we are about a lap away from everyone hitting pit road. Burns with the second, with Likens pitting, and we are all grouped together here in the top 10. There's Likens off pit road now. There's a lot of spots. Just for reference, it's going to be a lap down, and he's going to fall back here. He was not able to blend in front of that group, so we'll have to see kind of where everyone ends up. I imagine you see a lot of drivers on the pit lane right away.
Yeah, all that battling for P2 on back has done nothing but help Travis Gilbert
Here we
pull
go.
ahead. Burns and Diaz, Gilbert, Murphy, and Trevor Keith all making their way down pit road. It's a busy place to be as the 43 car looks to be like on fire there in his pit stall.
I think he is done bloated up, as they say.
It certainly seems like he might have.
Yeah, 31st position here for the 43. Into the pit box clean. Let's see who wins the race off pit road. Burns gained a lot of time coming to pit entrance. This is going to be the race effectively for the lead once it cycles out. Let's see. 22's got it. He will maintain the lead.
Who will be within striking distance, if anybody, though?
Another big group led by Erhardt.
Huge group.
This is most of the top 15 here on the pit lane. I think 11th, 12th now. Grant Turner is your new leader.
I was about to say, Morgan, if you could guess, who's the one driver who would not have come down pit road during either of those two massive chunks of people?
I mean,
would be that man, the 39.
You are blowing my mind right now, good sir. There's your driver of the 39, Mr. Pit Strategy himself. I imagine he's going to bring down pit road this time by. Oh, he's in the middle. I don't like that at all. He does. He is going to make it, though.
Yeah, almost a bit of thing in question there for Grant Turner, but they'll get it slowed and he's able to get this thing down the pit road. The thing that I question there for the 39 is Michigan is a track where coming in with some drafting help, not a bad idea, kind of like a Daytona or Talladega. Pitting by himself here could put him in a bit of no man's land depending on where he cycles out.
Well, just looking at the timing and scoring here, it looks like the pit cycle was kind to Travis Gilbert. He looks he's going to have about a 2.5 second lead when it all cycles through. Yes, 2.5, 2.6 actually. So big gain for the 22.
He picked up about a second on pit road there.
Big loser there, Jeremy Burns. Not a great stop. Came in second. Came out technically third, I guess, because Likens ended up cycling in front of him. He's going to end up sixth here on this run. Likens back to fourth. That's just not having the draft. That's all that is. He lost. You can see the ground in front of him. Those two cars, he was in front of them, Erhardt and Diaz. A lot of things go into making a good pit stop sequence. Part of it is getting to pit road, obviously rolling pit road at the proper speed, getting in the box, not missing the box, and then obviously getting that good drive off, not speeding. And probably the most important is that running on the apron, getting through turns 1 and 2 to get back up to speed. You can't go out on the racetrack, but you want to carry as much speed as possible. All that together can add or remove seconds from your time and gain a lot of spots or lose a lot of spots.
Yeah, we certainly know that races can be won or lost on pit road, especially when it comes to getting off of pit road in a hurry without doing so too quickly. Pit road speeding penalties can be a dangerous element, especially under green flag conditions, but a track like Michigan has a pretty high pit road speed limit, so you don't have to really slam on the brakes to get down to proper speed. As you see there, Caleb Gilbert gets around the 40 of Likens to take away P4. And I think the pit strategy here from the stage now, you're kind of seeing those who stayed out to get the track position. It has really worked in their favor. Al Likens sitting in 5th right now. Devin Hudgens 8th. Sam Taylor 9th. A couple of these guys who tried getting track position at the stage break, still holding on to it pretty well, and is leading to some really good runs so far as we just passed the halfway point of this race.
Fastest driver on the racetrack right now, second place car, Trevor Erhardt. He's able to get the toe off the 17, get the push from the 26, and run whatever line he wants as he doesn't have anyone directly in front of him. Kind of best case scenario right now for the 41. Still 2.1 back, 2.2 back of the leader. It's going to be tough to get there, but it's possible at this stage in the race, and that's all you can really ask for.
That it is. You see the gap there, and then how close things get from 4th on back. Hudgens and Likens going to duel for P7 there, as Murphy and Burns had got on by. Hudgens taking the low side, Likens up high. Looks like the 40 will hold on to that spot for now.
He's going to pull away as well down the back stretch. Going to be difficult for the 84 to do anything here in turn number 3. Let's continue on with that through the field. We had ended around the 11th spot. Sam Taylor up to the 9th position, got Rader right behind him. Good pit stop sequence for the 42. Talked about Rader earlier. There he is, started 12th, up to 10th. Wayne Lowe having probably his best run of the season. Just outside the top 10, gained 11 spots, doing what he has to do to try and put some pressure on the drivers around him and just have a good race here tonight at Michigan. Kevin Orlando Jr. in the 27, that Starry machine, one that we're familiar with seeing. Seen him for a lot of races in this particular car. Trevor Keith, he did not fare well in that sequence, down 3 spots. We saw him last in the 10th position. Alves was right behind him then. He's right behind him now. 14th spot for the driver of the 24. We got a new driver in the driver camps. First time, I believe, this season. We can see the driver of the 66 in Carter Linz. In 50th position. And look at that. I had you on the screen, and I didn't jinx you this time. So, eat that. Take that.
You know, we've got a good history going between broadcast booth and driver. When the moment he comes up on screen, it's just eat that.
Oh, also saw him last night in QSR at Daytona. We had a pretty solid run. Michael Bennett back to 16th spot. Got Harrison in 17th. We saw him earlier in the show as well. There's a look at that driver doing his thing. Right where he started, actually. So not no gain nor loss for the 45.
Been a crisp 200-mile-an-hour taxi session right now for the 45.
I think that's pretty accurate. Chris, oh, we got a spin. Somebody is around.
Yeah, caution's out.
Who would that
Someone.
be? Sam
A lot
Taylor.
Oh, he's up on
right
the track.
there. Oh, my
Sam
goodness.
Taylor collects Grant Turner.
Oh, my goodness. Where did that come from? What's
Oh, no.
a disaster for the 39. See, he's racing with Raider. We started through the field with him in 9th, and just a side draft gone wrong. That's all that was. Spins down to the
Just got a
inside.
piece of him.
No control here. I don't know if he's...
You can see he's trying to get it battened down and just...
Yeah.
Oh, heavy damage for Grant Turner and Sam Taylor.
I think you know where we're going with this now. Let's ride on board with the 39.
Yeah.
Hang on to your hats, folks. This one is going to hurt.
And this happens so far in front of him, you don't even really know what happens at the time. He's battling with Holloway and Chris Nail. You see the smoke a little bit. Then just emerging back on track, you try getting it slowed down. Bam!
That's tough. You could see he tried going to the bottom. Probably should have went to the top side. Obviously, hindsight 2020. But just not able to turn it fast enough and drove right into that front tire. Oh, that is not a good look for the 39. That's going to have trouble steering.
That might be terminal. Forget trouble steering. You might have trouble getting back to pit road.
Yeah, that's not... I mean, that is a direction the right front's supposed to face when you're turning left, but that's a little extreme. Little much. We got drivers in the pit lane here. This is going to break it up fairly nicely to the end.
Oh, Michael Call wins the race off of pit road.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to Forget. He was the leader at one point in time. Really slow stop in the box. Must have got some damage in that incident. Yeah, Michael Call with the, I believe, no tires, just fuel, possibly a 2-tire. I think that's got to be fuel, only 6 seconds in the box.
Yeah, whatever it was, it worked out for him. Got out a nose ahead of the 22 of Travis Gilbert. So that is going to give the 89, it gives him an opportunity to try and get out there. And, you know, he's already locked into the playoffs here, but, you know, maybe try and tack on a few more points here before we come playoff racing in a few weeks. Get out there and get up a big win here at the tail end of the regular season.
And here's a look high above this Michigan International Speedway. We're going to take a... Oh, we're choosing right now. We'll not take a quick commercial break. We will stay right here. Coming to the choose right now, I believe. Yes, we are. Pace lights are going to be out on that pace car. Inside line for your leader. A little further back in the field, what are we choosing back here? High side preferred, it looks like, for a lot of these drivers. So this could be the move that Michael Call needs to get up here and win a second race, vault him up to playoff standings. A lot of drivers currently sitting on a single win. Pull up the points right now for you. I think everybody, except for the top 2, are sitting on a single win this season. Burns and Raider obviously won the lion's share of the races. Gilbert got that win at Phoenix, Forget at Kansas, and the list goes on down to 10th, where they all have wins at various racetracks throughout the season. Anyone on the left side would be thrilled with the win. If you're not on the list, you'd be even happier with a win. Travis Gilbert, obviously, is what he's going for today. Get him in the playoffs after a couple bad weeks due to internet connection. See if he's able to turn it around right here, right now at Michigan.
He's been the fastest car all day. Can he get it done from the outside on this restart?
That is not the first time we've said that this season. I think back to,
No.
where was it? New Hampshire, Nashville. There's another race in there as well where he was the fastest car.
Yeah, the New Hampshire one's the first one that came to mind for me as well. He had such a good car that day, and it just didn't end up working out for him in the end.
Terrific launch for the 89. He is going to easily clear into turn 1, run whatever lane he wants, and that is the middle.
Whatever lane is also the one being run by the 22, I'd imagine was the approach there.
That's right. You could see the mirror driving from here. He went up, started up at the top side, drove all the way down the racetrack, and that's okay at Michigan.
Yeah, plenty of room to do that. Look at this battle here. Trevor Keith, Devin Hudgens, Likens and Lowe into the mix as well. It looks like Travis Gilbert with a good launch into turns 3 and 4. He will take the lead away from Michael Call.
But it's not
and
done yet.
Gonna try and get back to him in 1 and 2. He is leaning on that back bumper.
That's the hard part about following right behind a guy into the corner is you have to lift so much to not get tight and make the corner that it sets you up to be under attack from the drivers behind you.
Gilbert retakes the lead here. Call and Erhardt just behind. The 89 going to try and do what the 22 did last lap, drive it in deep. 22 running on a lane off, take that air away and keep him back there in P2 as they both dive down. Gives Erhardt some fresh air on the nose, but no drafting help as now Jeremy Burns is going to try and make his move toward the front of the field.
He's going to drive it deep there into turn number 1. Pull alongside the 89. I don't think he's going to be able to clear him. Probably not going to have forward momentum. And there goes the 41 on by. Slides up in front of the 26, and things are okay. Didn't lose too much there, but that's the risk you run when you drive the bottom here at this racetrack is you might get hung up to dry. We've said it a few times already today, and it happens all the time here. You got to be really careful.
That you do. So very good battle there for 6th. Caleb Gilbert, Devin Hudgens were almost door to door there down the front straightaway. Gilbert up high, Hudgens down low. Not a lot of support in that bottom side right now. And the 84 a little loose coming off the corner. Going to check up a hair. And the 54 and the 40 both going to breeze on by. No amount of side drafting is going to help the 84 retain position there.
3 wide potentially. Not going to do it. Trevor Keith thinks twice about forcing it 3 wide on the top side. Just content to ride behind Likens for this moment. We have a whale of a battle right here. Berger getting a big shove into the corner. Look at this. That's the best part about this racetrack is just how wide it is. It's a lot like Auto Club, a little bit more banked, obviously a lot faster, but you have options. You can go wherever you want on this racetrack and make it work.
Yeah, especially in this next-gen car, these 1.5 and 2-milers have really been the bread and butter of this next-gen car, and we're seeing it once again here today at Michigan. Just the opportunity to put this car wherever you want to and have it respond in a way that you can drive it and pass cars. As we see 3 wide up here, Wayne Lowe. What a run so far for the 34. Looking to try and take 8th place away from Trevor Keith and Devin Hudgens.
And looks like he's going to get pretty close. Obviously to slide in behind those drivers right there. Yeah, good run. Back to 10th, but still, best run we've seen the 34 have all season long. No question about that. Solid, solid day so far for the 34, and we are 2/3 of the way through this race. And he's still up here, so he's showing he's got speed. Been up here all day. Just a solid run.
Absolutely.
Back up front. No tires on Michael Call, holding on surprisingly well. Still running in the 3rd spot. Only driver to not take tires on that pit stop.
Yeah, I wonder if the 89 saw the track position play work out for guys like the 40 of Al Likens or the 84 of Devin Hudgens and think, maybe that's the way to get some track position and then be able to hold on to it. Because he got the track position off that pit cycle and then has not really let it go. Still running P3 and very, very much in contention here as he's holding off Kyle Diaz and Jeremy Burns. So right now, a quality run for the 89 on board with Caleb Gilbert as they make their way off of 2.
It definitely, the 89 is under fire for sure with those old tires. And he's not able to go and get the 41, but he's able to hold on, which I think is the important part. Is he can play defense well, running that top line. He's going to lose a spot right here, but that's okay. Again, he came in. I don't know where he was running before, but I don't think it was in the top 10. As long as you can cycle out to inside the top 10, it was worthwhile gamble.
You see a little 2x2 action here. Burns to the inside of Diaz. Gilbert to the inside of Call. Everyone going to try and meet each other at the end of turn 2. Got a little tight there. But everyone found just enough room to put their car, and we keep going under green.
It's been a good race here so far, and you can see a little further back in this field, I just saw Raider right up against the fence. This is the point in the run where you're going to start migrating to the top side. We'll see it here. This entire group of cars, I imagine we'll see every one of them within 3 lanes of the outside wall. Right there. Yeah, look at that. The lowest car on the racetrack goes right to the middle. This is where the speed is. Keep the momentum up. So 27 back behind them, go down to the bottom. It's just so hard to make the bottom fast at this racetrack.
Yeah, especially once you start getting into the run a little bit. Everything's up to full speed.
You know whose car didn't explode? Dylan Picklesheimer. He's back.
Hey.
Although this
43 on track, but I believe 40 laps down as he runs. So
something happened.
At this point, trying to get a few extra laps.
Something happened to the leader because Erhardt is there. This was not the case a few laps ago. He had driven away. 22 had an issue of some sort, and now the lead is a lot tighter than it was. While we watch the battle for the lead, let's have a quick discussion about other drivers who have not had the best of days here today. You just mentioned Picklesheimer. He's 29th, 40 laps down. Brendan Richardson, Tane McDonald, and Christopher Schaefer have left the session. They are 30th through 32nd. Jackson McGeorge is 28th. He's left the session. So is Sam Taylor in 27th. Grant Turner currently 12 laps down in 26th. There's a look at the 39. James Loveland, the only other driver, 1 lap down in 25th. Everyone else on the lead lap and pretty much in contention for some spot here somewhere throughout this field.
It's looking like a bit of a hornet's nest there in the backpack of this these two groups. Alves, Call, Raider, Murphy, and Lowe, all of them duking it out. 2 wide there, almost 3 wide. Lowe maybe thinking about trying to carry that run off the outside. Nowhere for the 34 to take it, though. Murphy and Orlando Jr. battling there. A little bit of a door from Alves and Call. Everyone shuffling around, looking for track position.
Well, in the last 2 laps,
like
Michael Call has lost about 8 spots. So I think we found the point where old tires don't work, and it's 15 laps into the run. Oh, Lowe's going to get turned. Oh, big wall contact.
Pack Orlando heavy contact takes out Holloway.
Holloway again. That's the 2nd time today. And now caution is out. Chris Nail's in it.
Also in there.
All right, well, we saw that one live. Let's go back and figure out one more time what happened there. Started with the 34. There is the 34. Let's go replay it again here. So this is going to be out of the corner. We can see this madness again. 3 wide.
We are watching this live.
Yeah, 3 wide, moving it around. Just a really solid race here, and you're going to see it's Forget off the corner, carrying just a lot more speed than I think the 34 realized, maybe than the 19 even realized. We all got a little bit of the wall there into turn number 1. I think the 34 sees a 24 washing up. Oh, the 89 had the lift.
Oh, no, the 89.
That's what
the
it was,
89 had the lift. Stacks up everything behind him. And then, honestly, the 19 and the 34, all things considered, get out of that relatively easy.
Yeah, I wouldn't be too
everyone
concerned
who was below them.
if I was those guys.
That.
But you want to see just something happening out of nowhere? This is Chris Nail riding on board with right now. Goes to the inside thinking, oh, I'm going to get some spots here. Car gets loose. Oh, avoidance, 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 and bang.
Man,
What do you do?
there's nothing you can. You do exactly what either you think is best there or the spotter thought was best, which is get down and away, avoid that happening up high, and just danger found him.
Absolutely, it did.
A lot of cars coming down pit road. It'd be a little tough, I think, to stretch it on fuel from here, but it would be close.
Yeah, this is going to put you right on the edge, like right on the number. Gilbert wins the race off pit road. Erhardt in second. Really solid race for your top three. Gilbert, Erhardt, and Diaz have been there the whole race. Harrison, 2 tires, little bit of a risk for the driver of the 45. See if that's going to pay off for him here. Hudgens, good solid stop up to 5th spot.
I tell you what, that 84 machine's been running top 10 all evening long, ever since he got the pit strategy early on before the stage even, to get into some track position that would be helpful. And the 84 has kept himself in the hunt all day long, as has the 40 of Al Likens.
I was just going to say that. Don't forget about Al Likens. This guy has done a really solid job of, he got that strategy, ended up in the top 5, and then has not really left the top 10 since then. The driver who's kind of been all over the field today, actually a couple of them. Michael Bennett obviously caught up in a very early incident. Look at the driver of the 14 once again. Obviously caught up in that first caution here on the front stretch. Fell all the way down through the field, went back up, got wrecked again. Now he's back up here to the 9th position. Another one right behind him. Rob Rader has had a rough day by his standards. Running 10th, but a lot of incidents so far for the number 53 machine. See if he's able to get it righted and put it in victory lane for what seems like the 18th time this season. I don't actually know what the count is. I think we're around 6 or 7 now, including the last 2, at least, possibly the last 3. I don't remember. It's a lot. It's a lot of races.
I mean, I just think of how the tear that he's been on since the All-Star break, really. I feel like he's won like just about every other race since then.
I think either him or Burns have won every race in that sequence, with the exception of I don't remember which one it was now.
Might have been Trevor Keith.
Trevor Keith won one, and so did Grant Thorpe at Pocono.
Oh, yeah.
I'm probably mistaken about it. Let's look at the schedule right now, actually, see how wrong I am about that. Yeah, I think I'm pretty close there.
What was it? Keith, I think, won Iowa after finishing runner-up at Sonoma. Right.
Yeah, Burns won in New Hampshire.
That was a crazy one.
That was crazy. I think Rader won Nashville. Burns won Chicago. Yeah, I think we're actually pretty close on that one.
Nice.
Look at us go. Just making it up on the fly up here in the booth.
We've watched a race or two.
I've been here for a lot of the season. Yeah, it's been an enjoyable one so far, and we're about to get back racing at Michigan. Possibly the run to the finish. Maybe even on fuel.
Michigan fuel strategy race here is going to go crazy with the way this event started.
Name a more iconic duo.
Fuel mileage. Yeah, really. Outside of maybe Pocono and fuel strategy. It's always these big non-restrictor plate tracks that get you.
Diaz going to clear for second. Gilbert out front like he's been all day. 54 laps left. That's over half the race. He will obviously clinch that point. Needs a win, however, to get into the playoffs.
He might just go out and get it. He's been so fast all evening long. But here comes Kyle Diaz poking a nose to the outside. Gilbert going to look to try and take that lane away on corner entry.
Rewind off the corner.
For
oh, Likens!
Oh.
Great save.
He made contact with Hudgens. The 40's going to catch it, but lose a ton of track position.
Back to 11th spot, so it's not all bad. I mean, it definitely could have been worse for that driver. He really only lost, actually, yeah, about 4, or how about 7 spots? Math is hard.
That is certainly a difficult one, as is dooring a car for third.
Yes, that's
Both of those not ideal.
it's a tough one to swallow. Definitely is running up in the top 3 and finding yourself back in 11th, the corner after.
I've been surprised with the pace of the 53 today. He's been caught up in a couple of the early incidents, but he's gotten that thing repaired well enough to still be able to drive it up into a pretty decent spot here, running P8. I just wonder if they've gotten all of that damage out. Can Rob Rader drive his way to the lead in these closing 23 laps?
Now we're going to see here. He can roll the top better than the 45. I don't think he can. And down the back stretch, just gonna maintain status quo. A little farther up the field. Burns getting passed by the 84, who, like you said earlier, on a solid run right here.
Yeah, I'm hesitant to talk more about it. We've been talking today about 3 drivers who were having really good days. It was him, Likens, Lowe. And 2 of those guys have had some issues in about the past 10 laps or so.
Did you say commentator curse?
I certainly didn't. If you want to say it, that's on you, but I will refuse to be saying anything of the sort.
And Carter Lins, who repeatedly accuses me of cursing him over the broadcast, riding currently in the 12th position, last car in this little pack up here. There is the driver of the 66. You got to win at Texas earlier this year. Let's remind you of that as well. But I called that race. It's a pretty solid
like
run.
Diaz
so
might have a run here going into turn 1. He's to the outside of Gilbert.
And a lot of help behind him.
He has Erhardt and Hudgens behind him. The 22 went low. Nowhere from the go. Erhardt going to give him a shove, but new leader, Kyle Diaz, the 26, back out front here on lap 80.
Going to potentially lead his 6th lap of the event, as the 22 is still under fire. Erhardt's going to get around the outside. And it's not over yet. The 22 is still losing spots. Hudgens going to go by. Rader's out there. So is Harrison. Maybe the other Gilbert is going to get to the outside and fill the spot as well. Burns not too far behind. This is a train wreck right now for the 22. 1 lap ago he was the leader. Now he's
Rob
7th.
Rader just took the lead.
What
he
on-
had the lead for a moment off at 2.
What on
Diaz,
earth?
with the help of Erhardt, was able to get back around him. How did the 53 find his way up there?
He got some help. He was getting pushed pretty hard by Harrison. I think they just caught a line, and they were rolling. Travis
20
Gilbert.
laps to go here from Michigan, and Travis Gilbert has completely lost this lead group here. He's down to 8th now.
In danger of losing the top 10 entirely. Remember, he was the leader 3 laps ago. This is crazy at Michigan. That's how fast it happens. 3 wide, a little further back. We see it on the screen right here. Not 3 wide anymore as the 54 dives it down into the
make
corner.
It 4 wide. Holy.
And we're blocking, and there's Grant Turner on the bottom, just trying to stay out of the way and keep these laps rolling. Good thing the apron here is pretty wide.
As fast as possible. Things getting checked up a little bit there on the high side. Rader going to take a look to it to the inside
And
here.
he got it.
And he will. 53 of Rob Rader takes the lead here on lap 83. And Kyle Diaz going to give him a shove, let him about it as they go into turn 3. The 26 trying to take it back.
Yes, he certainly is. Here we roll. Out of 4, bunch of cars. So close together here. Here goes the move to the inside. See if we can do it again. Oh, big push on the high side.
Wow, the 41 tagged Raider going into turn 1 there. He got a massive run, had nowhere to take it, and just sent all that energy into the 53, nearly put him into the fence.
And Raider sailed into turn 1 as well. Was able to keep the 26 behind him that entire time. Oh, can't move up there, Diaz. That was close.
He certainly thought about it.
He absolutely did. You can see just how wide this racetrack is. Everyone just trying to find a spot. 3 wide a little further back. That's your top 8 in one frame.
And Travis Gilbert now 3/4 of a second behind the leader in 11th.
How quickly things change. 15 laps to go here at Michigan.
Erhardt now all over the back bumper of Raider. That 41's been pretty fast tonight, just has never really had the opportunity to go out and lead this event. Still waiting for that moment where he tries to break through. He has the 1 lap lead, but he's been about top 3 in pace, I'd say, most of this race, and just needs an opportunity to try and get around the 53. Raider, though, going to try and really throw any kind of block that he can at this point, this deep into the race.
This
he
might
gets
be
way low into the corner.
A chance right here. He's going to have a massive run into turn 3. You can see it here. Look at that closing speed.
Oh boy, flying up on the back of Raider. Gets almost to the back bumper when they make their way into 3. Raider a lane off the bottom. Erhardt a lane above that.
And Hudgens up to 3rd. Pushing the wheels off of his 41.
Now that push is going to make its way up to
he
the
got
53.
into Raider.
Yeah, right on corner entry. Nearly spun out the 53 again. These top 3 cars pushing for all they're worth right now.
See a few lap cars
And,
up ahead as well.
Yeah, that might throw a bit of a wrench into the mix here. As we've got a podium that I think is a unique one for this season so far in Raider, Erhardt, and Hudgens.
With the rest of Element X still up in this top 10. You see Burns, you see Gilbert. Keith has also been solid all day. Likens just hanging on for dear life in the 40. See that blue car running 5th spot. Just trying to keep on to this top 5. Good points day.
Kyle Diaz has fallen back to 11th as well. Seems like some of these cars take the lead for a few laps and then completely lose it and completely fall to the tail end of this group. Is now Raider going to dive all the way down toward the apron, trying to break that draft a little bit.
Trying to get that Candyman draft. I don't know if that really helped him, but it definitely did kill the run of the 41 that time around. I think what it is, you're talking about drivers falling back through the field quickly. I think it's heating up the tires, running the bottom. I remember that's where the 22 wanted to run. That's where the 26 was running, trying to pass the 22. I think they burned up their stuff, and they just cannot get it under control enough to be able to run for this lead. As we're closing in on 10 laps to go.
And the other part of me wonders if they're falling back, trying to conserve a bit of fuel. If they can run in the draft, maybe go 80-90% throttle and not full. Because we do know that they were going to be real close to the finish here with when they came down pit road last at lap 73.
That's absolutely true. I think we were within a lap of making it to the end. So yeah, you're right. They could be saving fuel, although I don't think I'd want to fall back all the way to 10th, although now the 22 is up to 8th. I don't think I'd want to fall quite that far back. Maybe 4th would be fine. You can lift, run 3/4 throttle around this track. So here we are still. Solid battle for the top 5 up here.
Boy, Trevor Erhardt is going to leave a number 41 tattoo in the back of Rob Raider's machine when this thing's said and done. I think every straightaway he's laying into him 1 or 2 times. As Hudgens thought about going high on Erhardt for a second, they almost ran out of room completely.
3 wide
And now
for
here
3rd.
comes Al Likens for 3rd.
And the lap car is right in front of these guys. This is going to be hairy here in just a second.
What a run from the 40, looking to battle Raider for the lead.
And then they all got kind of tight right there. Awful
Completely
exit
bottled
for the
it
40.
all up.
Yeah, awful
Yeah,
exit
nowhere
for the
to
40.
go.
Just lost a bunch of spot, lost the ground he had. I mean, he drove up to the lead like you had said, just about had it, and they got a little bit tight or loose, whichever one off the corner. Lost the balance. And now here comes the 22. He's not that far behind now, within the picture.
And the 54 might make a run at the lead this time around in the 1 and 2. He was running that lower line. Hudgens and Erhardt committed to that high side.
Oh, they're dooring each
Caleb
other.
Gilbert slides up the track. He makes contact with Erhardt.
Yeah, big
Nearly.
contact right there.
That would have been a race-shattering caution had something gone worse there. Trevor Keith is up the 4th.
Yeah, just solid so far. North of 15, under 10 to go. We're pitting. It's pitting time.
Oh, here they come. Caleb Gilbert, Trevor Keith down pit road.
Money stop right here. I think that means we're all coming down pit road. Maybe you were right about the 22. Maybe he was saving just that little bit, expecting everyone else to have to pit. We'll have to watch here very closely. Also keep an eye on the 54 when he comes back on the racetrack, as well as the 15 where they cycle out. I can't imagine it's much more than a fuel-only stop. Just now in the pit box. Yes, Gilbert is away. Keith, it looks like he's taking at least 2 tires. 2 tires it is.
The leader's coming down pit road.
Yeah, Rader is there. So is the rest of the top 5, except for Likens and Gilbert. I'm thinking it's got to be fuel only here with this few laps left.
It's got to be. At this point, you've made your bed. You just got to commit to whatever gets you back on track the fastest.
Kyle Diaz back up in the top 3, obviously, with everyone else pitting. Maybe he was saving fuel like you had mentioned. We're going to find out. It's going to be a close run to the finish.
That it is.
Coming to
Who
6
has
laps to
anything
go.
left in the tank?
22 on pit
Gilbert
road this
and
time.
Diaz, though,
He is.
ran low. Yeah,
Hitting this. Oh, he's not.
Well, Diaz is. Gilbert's not.
I don't know if he missed pit road that time or if that was just an intentionally low exit. Maybe trying to fake the 26 in.
Maybe. Still a weird line to run. He lost a ton of time to Al Likens, who continues to lead here about 1.5 seconds over Gilbert. Coming to 5 laps to go this time by. Fine 3rd place. Got to jump back there to Wayne Lowe in the 34. It is tough to tell where everything's going to cycle out here when it's all said and done.
And don't look now, but Burns is fuel saving. He might have just.
Oh boy.
Did he just pit me? No, he didn't. He is fuel saving. You can see it. That car is well slow. Maybe pitting this time. No, he is fuel saving. So is Travis Gilbert fuel saving. Al Likens. I'm not sure if he's fuel saving or if he's going for it and going to try and pit. We'll find out. Looking at the lap times here, Burns ran a 44.2 last time. Gilbert ran a 41.7.
Wow. So Burns definitely more aggressive on the fuel save here. Does the 22 have enough to make it to the end?
Likens still
Does
not
the
pitting.
40 have enough? 4 laps to go.
We are right now at the fuel number that I was told earlier in the race, which was 24 laps. Oh goodness, this is going to be just like Pocono.
This is gonna be something, man. You can cut the tension right now with a knife. Just everyone waiting and seeing if the strategy play is gonna fall in their favor or not. You see guys like Alves, Rader, and Gilbert who came down pit road, currently 23 seconds back, 8th, 9th, and 10th.
Yeah, first driver off pit road was Rob Rader. Gilbert behind him, Devin Hudgens would be
I believe
third.
Likens may have just taken it down pit road.
Absolutely right. Still not pitting is the 22 or the 34. And Burns going to slide up to 3rd here. Can they make it? I think if anyone's got a shot at making it, it's Burns. I don't think the other 2 can make it based on how fast they've been running. But we got 3 to go. We're going to find out here.
Everything starting to slow down, both figuratively and literally. As you see Lowe swing way up to the high side here, trying to clear Travis Gilbert. He will take the lead, but is that wise in this moment?
Yeah, give the lead to the 34. We are running 3 seconds off the pace of the fast lap in this race. Some drivers 5 seconds off the pace. Oh, we had the 9 hit pit road. Not true. Just had some drivers get around him. He is still aggressively fuel saving.
Yeah, aggressive's an understatement. It's almost to a point where he'd be getting black flagged by the sanctioning body.
In fact, he's
for
been
just going
passed
too
now
slow.
by Rob Rader, so that strategy all for naught for the 9.
Yeah.
2 laps to go. Are we out of fuel? We might be out of fuel.
Yeah, the 34
He's coming
gonna
down
bring
pit
it
road.
down pit road. The 22, though, going to give it one more go as the white flag's in the air.
White flag presented by Erhardt Homes. Love where you live. Oh, man, can he make it? I think he's out. No, he's still accelerating.
Ever so carefully. He has an 8-second lead on Justice Murphy, but that is shrinking in a hurry.
I'm watching the speed of this 22. He's out of gas. No more acceleration in that car.
Yeah.
Where is Justice Murphy? There is the 12. You can see them into the corner. That car on the very bottom is the 22. Is he going to get there? And there's a
Can
wad of
Gilbert
cars
make it?
off of
5
turn
seconds
4.
of gap.
The 22 is going to get there.
Oh,
And
man.
your winner in Michigan is Travis Gilbert. What a
Unreal.
call. What a call.
Travis Gilbert in a must-win situation gets it done by crawling across the start-finish line.
Talk about calling your shot. What a move. 22. Wow. I think we need to go back and have a quick look at that finish. I saw some, the 12 was second, ended up finishing 8th in this race. Let's go back and figure out what happened there to Justice Murphy, then we'll catch the donuts from your winner. So this is the battle for second. Raider obviously on. He's got the fresh tires and fuel.
Yeah.
Oh, we're just driving the wheels off this thing now. Maybe ran out of gas for the 12. I think that's what it was. Yeah, out of fuel.
I think it has to go around them.
And then same with the 14. They both ran out. So did the 24. Oh man, that was a
Little
finish.
photo finish action for the 14 and the 12s. They were both running out of fuel.
What a crazy race. I can't
Burn
believe
it
that.
down. Travis Gilbert.
A guy who I think has wanted to talk to us all season long. And in fact, he's got Vet2Track on the hood.
Oh, how fitting.
No more fitting race to win than this one here at Michigan. Let's watch him burn it down, then we'll bring him up here in the booth.
Can he even if he's out of gas? He might
Oh,
just have
good.
to
You're
let the
right.
thing
Actually,
back
he
to
did
there.
run out of gas, didn't he? Why don't you go
He might just have to park it there.
go find that driver. Let's have a chat with our winner here.
Here, I'll pull him in right now.
Travis Gilbert, Morgan, and Alex up in the booth. You got a copy.
I do. What's up, guys? How you doing?
Oh, man, that was thrilling. We're on the edge of our seat. Oh, we got fuel in the car now. Oh, we can move again. Very good. But unreal. How did you do that? How did you know you could make it on fuel? In fact, I think you ran out on the backstretch.
I ran out coming. I had enough to go across the finish line. I lost 2 heartbreakers last year on field strategy. Lost at Pocono on field strategy. Like I seen the opportunity that we weren't gonna get a caution, so I started clutching it. I gave up the lead. I followed in the draft, let it pull me along as much as possible, and God is just good. I clutched. I started turning the car off Brad K style. It freaking worked. Let's go. I don't have to race anymore as far as the playoffs goes. Points, it's over with. I got myself locked in at my home track. I grew up 7 miles from here. I just moved back to Michigan. Man, God is good. My God.
Yeah, fantastic run for the 22 today. You were very clearly the class of the field. Fastest car, led the most laps, 62 out of the 100. And we've seen this a lot this year. We think back to New Hampshire. We think back to Nashville. Tracks where this car has been the one to beat, and something took you out of it. Internet issues, late race caution. What does it feel like to finally convert one of these wins at your home track?
You know what's crazy? I just literally moved back up with my wife and my kids from Indiana to Michigan, talking about all the internet troubles and heartbreakers and crashes. And, when it's meant to be, it's meant to be. God is good. Of all the places that I could lock myself into the RR 2024 playoffs to go run for a championship, doing it in my hometown. I grew up 7 miles from here, Columbia City. They were my rivals growing up over in Irish Hills. Moving back to Michigan, I just thank my wife and my kids and God and my family. And yeah, it's just been rough, man, but it's been worth it. This is so awesome. Vet2Track 200 with our Vet2Track sponsor. 22 veterans commit suicide a day. So that's why we raced our ass off today and apologize. But man, them cautions, I think I had a 2.5 second lead that dwindled down to like 1.9 that was going back up to 2 when that one caution came out. And it was just like, what do I gotta do? Nobody really wanted to work with me at the beginning of the race. So, dude, it's what is it? It's a God blessing, man. It's God's blessings. It's perfect timing. It's everything wrapped into one, and I just couldn't be more freaking grateful.
And you talked about it a little bit during that interview. Tell us a little bit more about Vet2Track, obviously the title sponsor of this race. Just talk about them a little bit more.
So Vet2Track is an organization founded by Jim Whittam, who I deployed with in Afghanistan over with the 1225th CSSB. He was my NCOIC over there. He likes two wheels. I prefer four, but we still like to go fast. And we both understand that when we're inside a race car, it's the closest thing to being over in battle, adrenaline, hypervigilance, focus, just being locked in. If anything goes wrong, you've seen I think some pretty violent crashes from behind from what I could see in the mirror. So, luckily we do this on a sim rig and not in real life, but people get hurt doing this stuff. And it's a danger that allures some people away from their PTSD. Soldiers come home with it, their family members. It's an outlet. So Vet2Track gives veterans and their family members an opportunity through an organization to get out to the racetrack and get outside of the everyday norm and to just go find that camaraderie, find something, a purpose, be a part of something. So many soldiers come home, veterans, and one of the things they say is, I got lost because I lost contact with my service members and friends that I was overseas with. Everybody's coming and going, different units, different deployments, different states. It never stays the same. It's a revolving door. So this is an opportunity for veterans to get out there and to see what it's like to get back into the civilian world, and that there may be better options than being one of them 22 veterans that commit suicide. So that's why this 22 is so special to take the victory lane at the Vet2Track 200. I'm glad we won the stage. Like, stage was 22, so I appreciate the admins. Like, it's just, you couldn't script it any better, right? So you guys, you talked about all the heartbreaks and everything. I'll go through it every single bit to be right here at this exact moment all over again.
Obviously, all worked out here for Travis Gilbert, the winner of the Vet2Track.org 200 here at Michigan, his home track. Dominant effort. Congratulations. You've already thanked everyone I think you need to thank, unless there's anybody else.
Just my team at Racing for Freedom for sticking with me through everything. Tay McDonald for keeping up and hitting me up and giving me some pointers, and knowing that I had to move and tear my rig down and put it back together and had some stuff going on. So proud to have him have my back and part of the brotherhood. My wife, my kids, like, this is so amazing to come up here and win an RR, being in my family for the first race, no internet issues. And thank you guys for putting this on. So I'd like to say hi, Terry, Tweet, my mom, my dad. Terry's fighting bladder cancer. So love you, brother. I hope that God blesses you and your family. God bless anybody who's going through anything. So, and thank you guys over here at V-Speed for putting on an awesome show. I can't wait to go back and see this, man.
Yeah, this was a fun one. A lot of 2 and 3 wide throughout the field. But anyway, thank you very much for the interview. Great win tonight, and we'll see you next week at Daytona, I believe.
Yeah, I'm going to push a teammate to a win. Let's go.
Awesome. Well, we'll see you then. That is your winner, Travis Gilbert. All right, and with all of that, we are going to take a quick break. We'll be back right after this with your results, as well as interviews with Trevor Erhardt and Rob Rader, second and third tonight. You've been watching the Chapman Environmental Services Cup Series presented by Racing Revolution. We talked about it already, the Vet2Track.org 200 here from Michigan. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Been around for 32, almost 33 years. It's a great company. We've built it from 10 people not all that long ago to 32 people today. We continue to grow. We're hiring people all the time. If there's one thing that I could do, like before my time is up at Chapman, it is making sure that we built a company that will stand the test of time. And my goal as the current owner of the company, or one of the owners of the company, is to ensure that we can pass the ownership of the organization on to the next generation of people coming up the ranks today. One area of our business where we impact the local communities pretty heavily is the school systems. So we work for school systems all over the northern part of the state of New Jersey. We operate their water systems, their wastewater systems. We do a lot of their permitting and compliance work, and we ensure that the water that the kids drink is clean. We go out and do the sampling to ensure that it's not contaminated. And we also treat the wastewater that's being generated at a lot of these facilities as well before it gets discharged to the environment. So we are supporting the local community through supporting the boards of education and the local school systems.
All About Bugs Tennessee Pest and Termite Control is all about family too. Our family-owned business has successfully been in operation in Sevierville and surrounding areas for almost a decade. Especially during these times, a pest-free home is necessary for a sustainable, disease-free home or business. Our services include residential, rental, commercial, hotel, motel, cabins, you name it. Free quotes and inspections for new customers, and most of our services are contract-free. Our All About Bugs Tennessee family is devoted to delivering the best possible pest control service with a friendly smile. Contact us at 865-453-5574 today.
If it's bugging you, you should be bugging us.
Welcome back here live from Michigan. Just concluded Vet2Track.org 200 here for Racing Revolution, the Chapman Environmental Services Cup Series. What a thrilling race we just witnessed. Fuel mileage to the last second. 5 cautions, 15 lead changes, 1 stage. Travis Gilbert led the most laps and ended up winning the race and ran out of fuel out of turn 4. It was a mad scramble to the finish. Erhardt and Rader had the fuel. A few drivers in there, Trevor Keith, Nick Alves, were trying to save. Didn't quite work out for them, but that is your top 5. Gilbert, Erhardt, Rader, Diaz, and Keith. Solid runs for all of those drivers. Nick Alves made it happen, finished in the 6th spot. Carter Lyns, I did not jinx him today. He finishes in 7th. Justice Murphy was the leader going into turn number 2 and ended up finishing in 8th spot on the fuel save strategy, right where he started. Michael Bennett, up and down day, ended up finishing 9th after getting caught up in an early accident. And Caleb Gilbert finishes in the 10th position. Finishing 11th, Devin Hudgens, who also had a solid day today, ran around that top 10 for the majority of the race. Tyler Harrison caught up in an accident early, rebounds to finish in 12th. Forget, as always, the most exciting man on the racetrack, finishes in 13th position. From the front to the back a few times. Decent finish for the 19. Al Likens, the strategy didn't quite work out. Up at the front for most of the race. Got moved with a few laps to go. Finishes in 14th. And Parker Johnston, who I don't think we mentioned all day. Quiet day for the 48. Finishes in the 15th spot. Michael Call was leading late on a no-tire call. Did not work out. Finishes 16th. James Loveland not helping the point situation. He finishes in 16th spot. Chris Berger returns to the series in 18th. Wayne Lowe, solid run, finishes in 19th spot. Not what he was looking for. And Joe Goya finishes in 20th. 21st tonight, Jeremy Burns, not what we expected out of the 9, could not stretch the fuel. That might be his worst finish of the season here at Michigan. Christian Bresnock, first car 1 lap down, never really could get that lap back after being the first caution here tonight. Kevin Orlando Jr., 7 down, caught up in an accident late, finishes 23rd. Grant Turner, we saw him with Sam Taylor in turn 3. He finishes 24th, 13 down. The Candyman, he got caught up in 2 things that he had no way to avoid. Finishes 25th, 15 down. Chris Nail, 26th. Picklesheimer, 27th. Sam Taylor, 28th. McGeorge, who started on pole, finishes 29th. Tay McDonald, another early exit, finishes in the 30th position. Last 2 on the grid, Schaefer and Richardson. Tough breaks for both of those drivers. But that's Michigan sometimes. You never really know what to expect when you show up to this facility. But with all of that being said, we are going to move to our second place driver. Alex is standing by with Trevor Erhardt.
Hey there, Trevor. P2 finish for you. And tell us a little bit about your day. It seemed like you had a lot of speed today, just maybe not the speed to actually claim that race lead. Did have the 1 lap lead, but it seemed like you were always right there on the scene in P2 or P3.
Yeah, for the first time, I think, since, gosh, about Coda, I finally feel like I've got a grasp back on this race car. It's been a rocky road of a season for me, but we felt good. Didn't qualify where I wanted to, but in the race, was able to get up there. And, my plan was just kind of ride behind Travis. When you get to racing side by side and these things, the draft is just so strong. You pull the rest of the field with you. And I just wanted to kind of ride with him and see if we could pull away from the guys, and was kind of just content to ride where we were. And then we got those couple of late cautions, and I thought, okay, we're going to have a race on our hands now. Played the strategy I thought was the right call, and came down, took 2 tires, worked out, got me back up to second. But Travis, I got to give hats off to him, was able to save enough gas to get back to the line first. But I'm really just relieved to finally be back up here talking to y'all. I don't think I've talked to y'all since Coda, so it's nice to be back up, getting an interview, and having a solid finish for once in a long time.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to have you back up here. It has certainly felt like a minute or 2 since we've gotten to talk to you. But this is right coming toward the playoffs here, and with a solid P2 tonight, do you feel like you're trending in the right direction here? Obviously not officially locked in yet, but in pretty good shape. Obviously tonight's finish certainly going to help that point situation. Do you feel like you're building some confidence here, working your way toward the postseason?
I hope so. I mean, we've had speed, throughout parts of the season. And then just haven't had the finishes. Last week at Richmond was running good, and then I just lost the handle in the car, and wrecked myself out. But hopefully, after this, we can take this momentum going forward and see what we can do. Daytona is one of my favorite tracks. Darlington as well. I've kind of gotten over the curse of Darlington. So those 2 are pretty good tracks for me. So hopefully we can just go out. Don't necessarily need a win to get into the playoffs, but I want to continue building this, top 3, top 5 momentum that we got here tonight, and see if we can kind of catapult that into maybe playing spoiler in the first round of the playoffs and maybe a little bit deeper.
Absolutely. Well, I got to ask you while you're here, Daytona and Darlington, the last 2 tracks here for the regular season. Is the plan going into them win at all costs to lock yourself in officially, or just keep stacking points here, knowing that you could probably point your way in?
I think it's going to be just kind of stack the points and see what we can do. I don't want to, depending on where we are at certain points at Daytona, we might stay up there to get some stage points. But I think for me, it's going to be kind of stay toward the tail end of the field, stay out of trouble, want to get at least want to finish that race. Even if it's not a top 10, I just want to finish with a car in 1 tact at that thing. And then Darlington, I mean, we all know how tough Darlington is. Depending on the track conditions, it's all about keeping the tires underneath you and being patient. And if you're not patient there, you're going to end up in the wall, end up with a broken toe link. So, my goal is just to be as patient as I can. Don't make dumb mistakes like I have been all season, and we should be just fine to make it into the playoffs.
Awesome. Well, excited to see how that goes over the next couple of weeks. And, you've got to put on quite the show here tonight with the dual with the 22. Not originally a question I actually was planning on asking, but I want to ask you real quick before we get to the people you want to shout out. It seemed like you were absolutely leaving a 41 shaped hole in the back bumper of the 22 with the amount of times you were making contact with them down the straightaways with the draft. Were any of those just like trying to move him out of the way, or was it just you had momentum and getting off the throttle was not going to work?
There were a couple times I pushed him off into, turn one, turn three a couple times just to see if I could move him up the racetrack. But a lot of it was I just had the momentum, got to his bumper, and if you weren't going to commit to pulling off the slide job and diving it in there deep, I didn't see a point in trying to make the pass. Otherwise, you just get freight trains. So for me, it was just about staying in line, staying in his toe, and trying not to give up a lot of momentum. So, I, took the bumper off his car a couple times, but it wasn't. It was more just trying to save my own place and make sure I didn't put myself in a bad position.
Yeah, absolutely. It was just something that we had noticed where it seemed like a lot of times it was just this kinetic run of force between the 84U and then the 22, and it was something that we were talking about briefly up here. But anyone you'd like to thank or shout out while you're up here, now would be the time.
Yeah, shout out to you guys up in the booth and everybody at V Speed for putting on the great broadcasts. Everybody in the league for all the hard work they put in to make these races great. The whole entire admin team and everybody involved. I mean, this is some of the best racing out there, and I'm very thankful to be a part of this group on Wednesday nights. And then it's been forever, so I got to shout out to my family who's been waiting for this moment for what feels like a long time. So my mom, my dad, my grandparents down in Houston, my nephew, sister, and brother-in-law. Shout out to you guys for tuning in every week. I know it's been a rough season, but hey, it seems like we're back on the right track. So hopefully we can build this, and hopefully I'm talking to you guys next week at Daytona.
Awesome. Well, looking forward to seeing what happens, and hopefully we'll get the opportunity to talk to you again soon there, Trevor. Congrats on the P2.
Thank you, guys.
That is your second place finisher tonight, Trevor Erhardt. Solid run for the 41. We're going to move on to the third position. Driver who needs no introduction, but we're going to do it anyway. Let's get Rob Rader up here in the booth. Rob Rader. Morgan and Alex up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Well, I don't know if this is what you expected out of the day. It was kind of all over the place day, uncharacteristic for a driver at LMNX Racing to kind of be so far back in the pack for most of the day. You end up with the third place, but how did you do it?
Well, first of all, I got to apologize to Sam Taylor. I was racing him for 90th and side drafted him and turned him down the back straight away. So, apologize to him. I don't know if he got damaged or whatever, but I don't think he ran another lap after that. So, if I ended his day, I just wanted to apologize to him first and foremost. As far as the day goes, I don't know. We ended up in that first wreck and had some damage on the car, and then I'll never understand why guys are full throttle shifting up as they drive through me while there's a giant wreck ahead of us. But that's what got us 2.5 minutes of damage after that, and then it was just about getting the damage repaired, and still had a fair amount of damage on the car. So I actually ran most of the back half of the race in fourth gear just to have any pace down the straightaways. So these guys were so much faster than me at the end of the straights, but I was making up the time in the corner. So it's kind of a weird dynamic, but um, big congratulations to Travis Gilbert. He deserved that one, and it was fun racing with Trevor and then through all the guys who were trying to save, and it ended up being a pretty good recovery, so I'll take it.
Yeah, you mentioned the trying to save there, and obviously you were one who came down pit road fairly early. I think you started off the sequence, or you were the second group to pit road, or whatever the case was. And then, did you think that drivers could make it to the end, or were you driving hard to catch them, or were you just trying to keep the guys who pitted behind you?
I think that I thought that if you really dedicated yourself to saving, you'd be able to make it. But that you were going to have to save a lot. It was going to be hard to win the race and save, right? And that's where Travis, I think he was the only guy who saved who ended up with a reasonable finish.
Yeah, Alves
Some of those guys are running.
well. Yeah.
Okay, good for him. Nick Alves in 6. That's a good old classic finishing position for him. So we'll have fun with that tonight. But yeah, for me, with me having to run in fourth gear just to keep up down the straightaways, I knew that I had no chance of making it by saving. So I just threw that out the window right from the get go and said we're running as hard as we can and we're not taking tires, and where we end up is where we end up. So I was surprised to see that Travis maintained as much pace as he did while saving, but I mean he was pretty much out of gas right after he got to the line. So just a really good job by him. Otherwise, the strategy on me and Trevor's side, it seemed like it was the way to go.
Yeah, you obviously finished about half a second apart from each other, and if that 22 stumbled at all on that last lap, that was going to be the battle for the win. So you probably had the right strategy especially with the car that you had and all the damage, and just didn't quite work out. But I mean, you know what they say, you can't win them all. And I think this was, how many races had you won in a row to this point? Was it 2 or 3? I've lost track. It's been a phenomenal season for you and the 53, and Jeremy Burns in the 9 as well. Your team has won something like 70% of the races this year. Just speak a little bit to how you as an Element X prepare for all these races week in and week out.
Well, yeah, I think I'd won the last 2 races and 3 of the last 4, something like that. But kind of seems like when I have an off day, Jeremy's there to pick up the pieces. When Jeremy has an off day, I'm there to capitalize. So the two of us, especially, have just been kind of going back and forth, taking the wins. And Jeremy is so good on the road courses. He's just sweeping those with minimal effort. At least it looks like it on the racetrack as he drives away from everybody. So just as far as preparation goes, I personally don't do a whole lot of preparation, to be honest with you. I know Jeremy does a lot of practice and whatnot. This week I did a little more practice than normal, trying to get back into the swing of things for the playoffs, and just make sure we got some track time. Normally when you have a season this long, and then the administrative responsibilities that I have, it becomes a lot of time on the sim to sit there and run a bunch of laps and do the admin work here in the league and everything else. And so normally my season schedule is prepare for every race until I get a win and I'm locked in the playoffs, and then kind of coast from there. And fortunately things have been kind of going my way here recently, but we'll have to put in a lot more effort for the playoffs if we want to win the championship, without a doubt.
Yeah, and this car, I believe you were the champion last year, right? At Phoenix, you were able to grab the win there and secure the championship. So expect probably to see that 53 back in those final rounds, making another push at the Chapman Environmental Services Championship here in the Cup Series. Who do you want to shout out or thank for this third place finish?
Well, I got to shout out Vet2Track for being a sponsor of the race tonight, and Travis getting the win. Pretty cool, because he is the our connection to Vet2Track, and they're a pretty cool organization. So if you do want to go ahead and give a little money to veterans, get them out to the racetrack, it's something that they put together. It helps with PTSD and all that. So it's a really cool thing. You can check them out. I believe it's Vet2Track.org.
That's right.
I believe that's it.
That's right. Yep.
So yeah, definitely go check them out. They're a great organization, and I've talked to the guy that runs that thing, and just great people all the way around. So got to give them a big shout out. And obviously EXR, got to shout out the team, and Chapman Environmental Services and everything that they do for me and the team and the league. We'll run down the list here. You got Ultimate Exterior Lighting. We got to shout them out. Erhardt Homes, Coastal Financial, All About Bugs, and Buttkicker. Buttkicker does put up our prize here for the end of the season. Whoever ends up winning this championship ends up getting a Buttkicker. So huge shout out to them. Buttkicker makes a really awesome product. So anybody who's on the fence, definitely go buy one.
Right on. Thank you for that. And that's your third place finisher, Robert Rader, here in the 53 at Michigan. But that's pretty much going to wrap up our show.
Still can't get over that finish. I still can't believe that Travis Gilbert had enough fuel in the tank to get to the end there.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't. He ran out of gas coming to the line. Just an impressive job saving fuel, knowing exactly how much to slow down to make it to the end and for how long. I mean, he was 3 seconds off the pace and still made it to the end on fuel and didn't give up that lead. Just an impressive run for the dominant driver of the day. But that was another showing of the Chapman Environmental Services Cup Series here, presented by Racing Revolution. Phenomenal drive for all these drivers, great racing throughout the race. And this was, as we've mentioned a few times already, the Vet2Track.org 200. Make sure to check them out. They do a lot of great things for veterans across the United States. But that is going to wrap it up. Let's look at Michigan, or let's look at the schedule. How about? I'm all out of sorts here. Please join.
we're still looking at Michigan in the way.
That's a good way to look at it. Please join us August 28th, the Chapman Environmental Services Truck Cup Series. How about travels to Daytona? No, not Daytona. Yes, it is Daytona Beach.
Yeah, you're all
Or
right.
the next race. I have just lost it completely. Apologies, everyone. We're at Daytona next week. 2 races to go in the regular season. 8:30 p.m. Eastern here on V-Speed as we bring you flag-to-flag coverage all season long. If you enjoyed tonight's race, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. You found us in the first place. You might as well keep on watching here. We're glad to have you. I've been Morgan Cook, Alex Gagnon alongside me. Got to thank Adam Baker, Eddie Smith, and Bradley Cooper over at V-Speed for helping us out and keeping us on the right track. But hopefully we'll see you next week here at Daytona for Racing Revolution. It's been a great season. Let's keep it rolling. We'll see y'all next week.
So Chapman's been around for almost 33 years. It's a great company. We've built it from 10 people not all that long ago to 32 people today. We continue to grow. We're hiring people all the time. If there's one thing that I could do, like before my time is up at Chapman, it is making sure that we built a company that will stand the test of time. And my goal as the current owner of the company, or one of the owners of the company, is to ensure that we can pass the ownership of the organization on to the next generation of people coming up the ranks today. One area of our business where we impact the local communities pretty heavily is the school systems. So we work for school systems all over the northern part of the state of New Jersey. We operate their water systems, their wastewater systems. We do a lot of their permitting and compliance work, and we ensure that the water that the kids drink is clean. We go out and do the sampling to ensure that it's not contaminated. And we also treat the wastewater that's being generated at a lot of these facilities as well before it gets discharged to the environment. So we are supporting the local community through supporting the boards of education and the local school systems.
All About Bugs Tennessee Pest and Termite Control is all about family too. Our family-owned business has successfully been in operation in Sevierville and surrounding areas for almost a decade. Especially during these times, a pest-free home is necessary for a sustainable, disease-free home or business. Our services include residential, rental, commercial, hotel, motel, cabins, you name it. Free quotes and inspections for new customers, and most of our services are contract-free. Our All About Bugs Tennessee family is devoted to delivering the best possible pest control service with a friendly smile. Contact us at 865-453-5574 today.
If it's bugging you, you should be bugging us.